Hello friend, how are you? I'm Ankita and today I want to discuss about evolution. Mostly the things which we have gotten wrong about evolution. Science is ever changing. Today science will say something, tomorrow science will say something else. That is why a lot of times people don't trust science because something which we have learned in our childhood and when we grow up scientists say no, this is actually not this way, this is something else. But I still appreciate there are like these intelligent people who are trying their best to figure out what is going on, because I myself don't know how to figure it out. Even doing research on internet is kind of difficult. So fact that they are able to go in so much depth, go to those places, do intense research, study languages which are not spoken these days. It's very very tough. So I still appreciate them even though scientists get it wrong, but they are the reasons we know so many things. So in this video I want to share some myths which people believe, but now scientists are saying this is not true. Humans evolved from monkeys. This is something which we have heard a lot since our childhood. Scientists have said we have evolved from monkeys. We used to be monkeys, but some monkeys decide to separate from their tribe, and they decide to explore, and slowly they learned lot of things like making fire, making wheel, and some monkeys got developed. This is not exactly true. In a way it is kind of right that we are somewhere related to these apes. We all had a common ancestor, but those common ancestors are now extinct, or they have changed into different kind of apes which we see right now. And just like we have family tree where for example we have two great grandparents, the great grandparents have 3 children who are our grandparents, then the grandparents have children, so the tree increases and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, based on who is related to who. The same way the biologists have created a scientific classification of various organisms. And the biggest one is animal kingdom and plant kingdom. They have classified it based on how much similar the bodies are. If the bodies are similar to each other, then the biologists believe that maybe they are closely related to each other. They have not directly by blood, but they have a common ancestor. That is why they are so close to each other. Even though this theory is not yet confirmed, but this is the most closest to real life events. This is the theory with the animal classification, plant classification is the most accurate one up till now. So I saw the humans category where humans are connected to other apes. First one is the super family, which is Hominoidae, where all the apes are present. And then in family there are separated into Hominidae and Hylobatidae. So in Hominidae there are hominids and other great apes, and gibbons are separated in Hylobatidae. Then again Hominidae is differentiated into subfamilies, then into tribes, then into subtribes. And so according to this chart, we are more closely related to chimpanzee and more distant related to gibbons. there is one more interesting thing which I found while I was making this chart. You must have seen this in a famous photo of humans evolving from monkeys. First we are bending down, then we are slowly getting up, and now we are a modern man. This here in this chart there is Homo erectus, Neanderthals. People say that first we are Homo erectus, then we become Neanderthals, and then slowly we evolved into Homo sapiens. But this is not accurate. Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were actually present together. Neanderthals got extinct, but Homo sapiens survived. And along with Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, there were several other species which are closely related to humans, which are very similar to humans. One of them is Dinosaurs, and there are several others as well. But Neanderthals and Dinosaurs, I have read that even modern man, even the people who are present today, have some ethnicities at least have some Neanderthal DNA or Denisovan DNA in them. So it is believed that Homo sapiens were in a relationship with Neanderthals and Denisovans back in the day. Neanderthals, people believe got extinct 40,000 years ago. But Denisovans people, I couldn't find an exact record. There is not too much information about Denisovans, but some say they got extinct 30,000 years ago, some say 20,000. But there are some reports which say they were present till 10,000 years ago. So they were present even after Neanderthals, but some reason there is not much information about them, even though lots of humans have Denisovan DNA in them. So this is one very interesting fact, and if you look at them, they are very, very similar to humans. There is only slight change between Homo sapien, Neanderthals, Denisovans, and several other species which are human-like species. I myself couldn't tell much difference, but if you look at their pictures, there is some facial differences, and people believe those ethnicities which have these DNA of Neanderthals or Denisovans, their facial features are also slightly different. So depending on which human type you were connected to, your face will be different. What do you believe? Maybe during my childhood I had learned about this monkey to human, but now they say that they are actually were companions. Homo sapien were completely different. Maybe when I grow old, the theory will be even more different. So which theory do you believe in? Do you believe in this theory, or do you have some other belief? Lot of religious people do not believe in evolution at all. They believe that God sent two people, man and a woman, and then they created the entire human species. We were looking exactly the same since the beginning. So let me know what is your evolution belief. Which theory you believe in a religious theory, this current theory, or you have some other beliefs what humans could be in the past and what we will turn into in future. The second myth is the dinosaurs are now evolved into reptiles, and people initially believed that reptiles and dinosaurs are connected to each other, but now scientists are finding out that lots of dinosaurs, mainly those who are from the group theropods, these dinosaurs are more closely connected to birds than reptiles. So these theropods includes dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus Rex, the famous T-Rex dinosaur. So some people believe that dinosaurs which we imagine are not actually accurate. We have created the image of dinosaurs based on their skeleton, and also based on the assumption that they were ancestors of reptiles. That is why we have given dinosaurs a very scaly skin, scaly rough skin, and there is not much to decoration on them. There is just, we have just exactly molded him into their skeleton. But scientists are now saying that since lot of them are connected to birds, there is a very good chance that lots of dinosaurs may be having feathers. So maybe dinosaurs were not scaly, but they were had beautiful feathers on them, just like birds have. Maybe their actual shape is a lot different than what we imagine. This there are lots of theories based on this, there are lots of books written on it. One of the famous book, which is a fictional book called All Todays, they have lots of variety. They have All Tomorrows and All Yesterdays, but in All Todays they have it's a fictional book where they have imagined future alien civilization. In future, when the humans and all the animals have gone extinct, just like dinosaurs have gone extinct, or present animal kingdom, plant kingdom have gone extinct. We are now buried in inside earth, and future aliens come and they are trying to figure out what is going on, what kind of species used to live there. And based on our skeleton, the species which they imagine is very, very different than species which we see right now. Because if we look at skeletons of birds and even species like cats, they if we directly mold them into their skeleton, their shape will be very, very different than what actually how the animal looks. And lots of animals have very either cartilage or some kind of layers on them which get decomposed. Skeletons, bones don't get decomposed quickly, that is why they remain. But there could be other parts in which get decomposed which we cannot see. So maybe the dinosaurs had some other parts which we cannot see. Maybe they are not very scary creatures like we imagine. Maybe they can be very beautiful giant birds, colorful feathers. They would be definitely be bigger, but still they would be a lot more beautiful and very beautiful to look at. This is still a speculation, even we don't know. Maybe in future they can be like, no, actually dinosaurs were something else now. So I'm very interested to know what will be the next belief, next theory. But it's very interesting to see that things may not be exactly how we imagine. Next evolution myths are the theories which are talking about evolution. First one is the theory made by Lamarck, but their theory got debunked long time back, but still lot of people believe in it. According to John Baptist Lamarck, the animals based on their circumstances they start adapting. Like one of the examples they had given was giraffes stretch their necks to reach the top leaf, they intentionally like stretching continuously. They used to stretch, and slowly that neck got bigger, and they were able to grab. In a way, this theory can be true, because we can adopt and become better to survive. Even humans, initially they can't do something, but with practice we can do it. But there are still limitations. We can we can increase our jump height, but we cannot start flying in the sky. There is some limitations on our capabilities. So Lamarck's theory was debunked. People didn't believe it. It was actually later discovered that it's not just an adaptation. It's not the species trying their best to improve themselves, but it is actually on genetic level. Some animals have some genes which give them advantage. Just like in humans, some humans are taller, some are shorter. So in giraffes also, some giraffes got genes which which made their legs longer. So those giraffes which had longer necks were able to reach the high trees, and they were able to survive. So those genes passed down. And the giraffes with shorter necks, they were unable to feed themselves, and they eventually died out. So eventually only the long neck ones survived. Second theory is about Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin theory is still believed a lot. The famous quote from Charles Darwin is survival of the fittest. In a way it's true, just like Lamarck just like Lamarck said, if you try your best you can improve. Same way in Charles Darwin's theory, if you are bigger, stronger, fitter, you have a higher chance of survival. In a top level, it's definitely true, but it's not just about being the biggest, strongest. Sometimes it can be luck as well. Sometimes you're at the right place at the right time. Just like the giraffes, the long neck ones were able to survive because the trees were longer. But what if imagine the trees were shorter? Then the short neck ones will be able to survive, and the long neck ones will have hard time. So the short neck ones will be the one victor, and the long neck ones will lose. So in Charles Darwin also, it's not always the biggest and strongest, because humans are able to dominate the entire world, and humans are nowhere near the biggest and strongest species in the world. If we decide to fight even a dog or cat, we have a very good chance of losing. If a regular big sized dog comes to attack us, a human will lose, let alone a lion, tiger, elephant. They are much bigger and stronger than us, but still we are able to win because of our intelligence, because we work together. They work alone, they work in small groups, but humans work together in billions now. So there are a lot more factors. Intelligence plays a huge role. It's not just about being the strongest. Sometimes one person can be very strong, but if 10 people who are not very strong decide to work together, they can defeat the strongest one. So teamwork also plays a huge role. Intelligence plays a huge role. Also luck plays a huge role. Sometimes you are at the right place at the right time. Sometimes the qualities which you have are the ones required. I think there is many more things to evolution which we don't know yet. There are many more things. Back in the day, evolution was just about physical traits, but then we learned about genetics, DNA, and genomes, and we realized that genes plays a huge role in who wins, who loses, what kind of shape someone is in. So maybe in future we'll realize some other factors which are in our body, which plays a huge role in why some people win or some species win while some loses. Why we evolved into something, or whether we evolve or not. So many questions which are still unknown. So let me know, what do you believe? Do you believe in the evolution theory? Do you believe in the religious theory? Or do you have some other theories which is going in your mind, which you want to share? Please let me know. And take care. Bye.